Hey guys, it's Miss Wills. If you missed class today, I wanted to try to catch you up so you wouldn't be really behind. We started out our class today by doing a bell ringer, and this was the bell ringer. Write a complete sentence. Why was it important that surrounding regions in Mesopotamia trade? So you are going to start your sentence like this. It was important that surrounding regions in Mesopotamia trade because you will write this part in red, and then you will finish the sentence. Okay, so I had several students today who thought, oh, well, I'll just read that off the board and then I'll just write the remainder of my sentence down. No, you need to write, it was important that surrounding regions in Mesopotamia trade because, and then finish it in your own words. So, that was our bell ringer today. Then we moved on to this worksheet that you actually received yesterday in class, and we are on question number 3. How did domesticated animals help the growth of Mesopotamian civilizations? Now, I want you to keep this in mind. People began to live together in places that favored trade. Small farming villages grew into cities, and by 3000 BC, several cities developed in Sumer, a region in southern Mesopotamia. So people began to live together because they favored trade. So how did domesticated animals help the growth of Mesopotamian civilizations? Let's take a picture, or take a look here at these pictures of domesticated animals. Alright, the top picture, we can see that they're farming and using oxen or cattle to pull the plow to make it easier on them to farm. We also have a picture here. This is actually an Egyptian because you can see the hieroglyphic writing behind them. So they also use the plow to help them farm as well. Down here you'll see a picture of a donkey, and it has this tool, you could call it, that holds baskets on each side, and they could load their grain or wheat into these baskets, and then the donkey would actually transport that for them. And then over here we have a Sumerian chariot being pulled by domesticated horses. You can see that this is, or you know that this is a Sumerian chariot because of the solid wooden wheels that are on it. Now, the Sumerians were also responsible for building the first cart. So in addition to having a donkey that carried this basket type tool on its back, you could also have donkeys that had carts attached to them that they could pull through the fields. So, someone in one of your classes pointed out, and if I can find it again, that your standard says the growth of Mesopotamian civilizations. That does not just mean the growth in population. That can also mean that your civilization grows stronger and wealthier. So you can't just look at what makes a city have more people in it. That's not the only way a civilization can grow. Civilizations can grow stronger. Civilizations can grow wealthier. So, after you've looked at these pictures here, your question again was, how did domesticated animals help the growth of Mesopotamian civilizations? So I want you to answer that as best you can and bring it in to me, and I can check it and see how you did. After that, we moved on to the next 3 items that were listed. Okay, those items were the wheel. Alright, so your question wants to know, how did the wheel help the growth of Mesopotamian civilizations? Alright, this is a Sumerian wheel. It is a solid piece of wood. Alright, and let's read this little article. It's going to tell us more about it. The people of Mesopotamia also made many useful inventions. For example, the Sumerians were the first people to use the wheel. The earliest wheels were solid wood circles made from carved boards that were clamped together. A Sumerian illustration from about 3500 BC shows a wheeled vehicle. They built the first carts, which were pulled by donkeys. They also introduced vehicles into military use with the development of the chariot. So your question is, again, how did the wheel help the growth of Mesopotamian civilizations? I want you to answer that question with the best you can, and we're going to move on to the next one. The sail, or the sailboat. The Sumerians were responsible for inventing the first sailboat. We've already seen a picture of this in one of the videos that we watched. So you should be familiar with that one. This is a round sailboat with a pole in the middle, and you can see the lines here that they would run the sail up on. Now this one's more advanced. It's made of reeds. Alright, sailboats in Sumer were for river travel, and they were the first, like I said, to develop the sailboat. So I want you to think, if these two objects are used to travel on the water, then how would the sailboat help the growth of Mesopotamian civilizations? Alright, go ahead and answer that question. And then we're going to move right along to the plow. Two improvements in stable food. One was irrigation and the other was the plow. It was made of wood and it was pulled by oxen. The plow was completely made of wood. Sumerians invented the wooden plow and it helped them in the fields. Okay, it made their jobs much easier. So, your question again, how did the plow help the growth of Mesopotamian civilizations? Okay, and answer that question as best you can, and then I'll show you what we did next. Alright, the next thing we did was you had another worksheet. I don't think I have a picture of it on here yet, but I will get one. You can find it on my webpage though if you need it. Alright, this one is going to be labeled Standard 6.13. So if you still have that little sheet of standards, you can go ahead and glue in 6.13 on your next page. If not, you need to write this, and then you need to take that question sheet that it looks very similar to this one. It's just a small sheet, only it has this picture on it. So you can go to my units of study and you can get that worksheet if you need it. And all we had time to do with that today was glue the worksheet into our spiral along with this standard. So if you get that done, you'll be all caught up with us and ready to go tomorrow. Alright, hope you have a good day. See you, bye.